at 93 years old. The man in question proudly states he has never needed medication to face the inevitable challenges of old age. Looking back, he is amazed by how much he has achieved without relying on pharmaceuticals, topical ointments, or complex medical procedures. Health, especially at such a venerable age, is the most valuable asset one can possess. Although he is not a certified specialist or practicing physician, over the years, he has deeply understood that the true secret to longevity and well-being lies not in medication. Instead, it is found in daily actions, formed habits, and a conscious approach to caring for one's physical body and mental state. He recalls how, in his youth, people around him began discussing blood pressure medications, cholesterol-lowering drugs, and pain relievers. He observed them and wondered, is this fate awaiting me too? Rather than accepting this prospect, he decided to embark on his own research, experiment with alternative methods for well-being, and, most importantly, listen carefully to his own body signals. He is convinced that life in old age does not have to be an inevitable fate of pain and constant medication. In fact, for him, it became a strategy of preventive measures, carefully preserving the body's resources before they are irrevocably lost. Over his lifetime, he discovered simple, natural, and highly effective methods that allowed him to remain strong and healthy without the constant need for conventional medicine. Today, he intends to share 5 non-obvious yet effective practices that have become the foundation of his long-term health and unflagging vitality. Some he learned from his parents, others he found through trial and error, and some he adopted simply because they made him feel better. The first of these practices, he starts his day with warm water and lemon. One of the most accessible yet remarkably effective secrets he integrated into his daily routine is drinking warm lemon water. This seemingly minor habit significantly impacts how his day begins and how he feels throughout. For over a decade, not a single morning has passed without a glass of warm water with the juice of half a freshly squeezed lemon. Why is this habit so significant for the human digestive system? Upon waking, the body is in a state of significant fluid deficit. After many hours without water intake, the digestive, metabolic, and immune systems require activation and a reset. Warm lemon water not only promotes hydration, but also actively contributes to alkalizing the body. This is paramount for neutralizing the acidic manifestations that accumulate during nighttime rest. Lemon, being an acidic fruit by nature, might seem paradoxical at first glance regarding its effect on the body's internal environment. However, it actually demonstrates a pronounced alkalizing effect. This means that despite its acidic pH when ingested, it helps reduce acidity in the bloodstream and tissues, creating an optimal alkaline environment that is significantly more favorable for cellular function. The connection to the immune system is also direct. Lemon is abundant in vitamin C, a vital nutrient for boosting the body's resistance and preventing respiratory illnesses or common infections. Numerous scientific studies have shown that vitamin C acts as a powerful antioxidant, providing cellular protection and accelerating regenerative processes in various pathological conditions. Furthermore, vitamin C helps reduce inflammation, which is fundamental for maintaining musculoskeletal health and overall well-being. Adequate hydration with warm water also stimulates the elimination of toxic substances. This, in turn, lessens the burden on the immune system, helping it remain more active and ready for its protective functions. The most valuable aspect is the surge of vitality he experiences by starting his day this way. Before this habit was integrated into his morning ritual, he found it extremely difficult to fully begin his day. He felt chronically tired, his thoughts were foggy, and he didn't feel fully awake at first. However, the situation changed dramatically when he started drinking a glass of warm lemon water daily in the mornings. He realized his energy levels significantly increased. After a few weeks, he also began to notice a substantial improvement in his mental clarity. The first hours of the day, which were previously the most burdensome, transformed into a period of heightened productivity. His mind became more alert and focused, allowing him to perform tasks more efficiently and with less effort. This simple glass of water provided him with enough energy to face the new day with a much more positive attitude. Most importantly, it prepared him mentally for the challenges ahead. He would never again underestimate the power of this seemingly insignificant yet crucial habit. Remarkably, this habit is not new to him. In fact, he started practicing it when he was just 28 years old. At that time, he didn't fully grasp all the health benefits. However, a friend who had spent significant time in India suggested he try it. She had adopted this practice from Asian cultures, where it is considered a very effective way to maintain internal balance in the body. Initially, it was just a custom, something that seemed curious and potentially beneficial. Over time, however, he began to notice its positive effects. He felt less bloated, his skin condition improved, and most importantly, his digestion became significantly smoother. He no longer experienced the regular stomach discomfort that had plagued him before, nor the heaviness after dinner. What impresses him most about this habit is its exceptional simplicity. It doesn't require expensive equipment or significant time. All it takes is a glass of warm water and half a lemon. This humble gesture, this short morning ritual, has a long-term impact on overall health. It's a clear example of how minor adjustments in our daily routine can lead to colossal changes in the long run. If everyone made similar changes to their lifestyle, however small they might seem, the overall quality of life could significantly improve. And the best part is, achieving visible results doesn't require great sacrifices. What might initially seem insignificant can become the cornerstone of your well-being. For him, warm lemon water is just the first step on a path abundant with habits aimed at caring for his body and mind. And if he has learned anything, it is that the decisions we make today directly determine how we feel tomorrow. Secret number 2, light exercise after waking. There is something all health experts tirelessly repeat: movement is life. However, when joint pain begins to take hold of the body, this idea seems more like an empty phrase than a real solution. Initially, all one wants is to stay in bed, rest, and wait for the pain to subside. But rest is not always a panacea. He is ready to share how he came to this discovery. One day, after weeks in the same painful routine, he realized something important. His body couldn't continue to function properly if he didn't give it something in return. He was caught in a vicious cycle. Pain kept him immobile, and lack of movement only worsened the situation. So, he decided to break this inertia and try something simple. He started with something as basic as stretching. These were not high-intensity workouts or gym sessions. He began with gentle stretches that helped relieve the tension accumulated in his muscles and joints. He didn't force himself to do anything that caused pain. He simply moved his body gently. At first, each stretch was a challenge, but as he did it more often, he began to feel the benefits. His morning routine transformed into a ritual. Upon waking, before even thinking about taking a painkiller, he dedicated 10 minutes to slow movements. He walked around the house for a few minutes, simply feeling his feet touch the floor. Then he performed basic stretches for his back, shoulders, knees, and hips. In the mornings, he sometimes added a little Tai Chi or a series of gentle yoga movements. All his body needed was a little attention and care. He recalls one morning waking up particularly tired. He hadn't slept well due to hip pain, and his muscles felt heavy. The desire to stay in bed was strong, but he decided to get up and move. He started with stretches, then walked around the house. To his surprise, after a few minutes, he began to feel less stiff, more relaxed. The pain didn't disappear completely, but the act of moving itself revitalized him. His energy began to return, and suddenly the idea of sitting or lying down no longer seemed so appealing. This made him think deeply. The human body is designed for movement, not to remain still, waiting for pain to pass. With age, muscles and joints often become stiffer. But this does not mean one should give up. On the contrary, the more one moves, the easier it is to maintain mobility in the long term. Light exercises, especially after waking, help improve circulation, reduce inflammation, and preserve joint flexibility. He wholeheartedly asserts, the essence is not to do a lot, but to do something daily. There's no need for complex or exhausting exercises. Consistency is the key factor. One should allow their body to continue moving, even if gently. With each passing day, one will notice changes. It's not just about immediate pain relief, but also about preventing stiffness and pain in the long term. Therefore, he strongly urges you to start. It doesn't matter if it's just a couple of morning stretches, a light walk around the house, or even a bit of yoga or Tai Chi. The main thing is to do it every day. Do it for yourself, because keeping your body in motion is the best investment in your future. Every step you take now is a step towards a more active and pain-free life in the years to come. Secret number 3, a diet based on natural and fresh foods. Over the years, he realized that health depends not only on physical activity at the gym or on medications taken. What one eats daily profoundly influences their longevity and overall well-being. Since he decided to focus on a diet consisting of fresh and natural foods, he noticed an astonishing difference not only in his energy levels, but also in his ability to remain free from chronic diseases that had long worried him. His diet is not complicated, but is based on a simple principle: eat what the earth gives us. Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins are the pillars that have supported his health in recent years. Many years ago, he consumed all sorts of processed foods: sausages, fast food, sodas, and a lot of sugar. However, when he began to learn about the negative impact of these products on the human body, he decided to make radical changes. One of the first steps he took was to completely eliminate processed foods from his diet. These foods, though convenient, are loaded with chemicals, preservatives, and refined sugar, which have a detrimental effect on the body, especially as one ages. Refined sugar not only contributes to weight problems, but is also a major risk factor for chronic diseases like diabetes and heart disease. He remembers that it was very difficult to adapt at first, but he soon realized how good he felt by replacing these products with more natural alternatives. His breakfast, for example, always starts with fresh fruit and whole grains. Oatmeal, berries, and a generous amount of nuts or almonds are his almost daily companions. These foods are not only rich in nutrients, but also provide him with stable energy levels without the sharp sugar spikes and crashes that used to leave him exhausted after meals abundant in refined carbohydrates. Fresh vegetables are another fundamental pillar of his diet. He consumes them in every possible way: in salads, soups, juices, or even steamed. His favorites are broccoli, carrots, spinach, and cucumbers. They are low in calories but rich in vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that help keep his body strong and free from toxins. Over the years, he also gave up fried foods and heavy dairy products. Instead, he prefers lean proteins such as chicken, fish, and legumes. Red meat is no longer part of his usual diet, and although he occasionally allows himself some, he found that he doesn't need to eat it to feel good. This diet not only improved his physical health, but also had a direct impact on his mental state. What one eats affects their brain just as much as the rest of their body. By eliminating foods that caused mood swings and lack of concentration, he began to feel more alert, calm, and emotionally balanced. Sometimes people don't think about the power of what they put on their plates over their minds, but the connection is stronger than it seems. He recalls being surprised during a doctor's visit to learn that his cholesterol and glucose levels were excellent for his age. The doctor told him he had made a wise decision by choosing a more natural diet. In fact, the doctor noted that one of the reasons for his excellent health was precisely the diet he had followed for many years. There were no pills or special procedures. His body was simply grateful for the fresh and natural foods he gave it. He took the phrase, "What you eat today can be tomorrow's medicine or poison," very seriously. And since then, he has been very careful about what he puts in his mouth. He understood that while life and aging present challenges in many ways, food is one of the most powerful tools one has for preventing, healing, and maintaining a high quality of life. And here he wants to make an important point. The closer one gets to old age, the more they need to take care of their health from within. It's not enough to wait for problems to appear. One must act in advance. Making smart decisions about what one eats can have an immediate and long-term impact. If he could do it, anyone else can too. If someone is ready to take the next step, they should start today. Changing habits should be gradual, but with unwavering determination. The difference will not be long in coming. Secret number 4. Meditation and peace of mind every morning. At first, he didn't fully understand what such an uncomplicated practice could do for him. Just 10 minutes. He considered it a waste of time, believing he wouldn't get any real benefit from something so brief. But he decided to try, and what he discovered deeply surprised him. Every morning, right after waking, before getting out of bed or starting the day, he dedicates 10 minutes to sitting in silence. He closes his eyes, breathes deeply, and allows his mind to calm down. At first, it was difficult. His mind tended to jump from one thought to another, recalling everything he needed to do that day, worries, and past tensions. But over time, he began to notice something wonderful. The more he focused on his breath, the more these worries disappeared. His mind became calmer, more serene. With each passing day, he felt that not only his mind, but also his body was clearing. The tension accumulated in his shoulders, the stiffness in his joints, seemed to gradually diminish. He no longer started the day stressed or with a heavy feeling in his body. And, most importantly, he began to feel more emotionally balanced. He knew that life is not always easy, and problems remain. But now he faced them with a clearer mind, greater patience, and renewed energy. Meditation is not just about relaxation. It has a real impact on one's physical health. Studies have shown that regular practice can lower cortisol levels, the stress hormone, and improve concentration and emotional balance. By reducing stress, the body also improves its ability to heal. In fact, meditation can be as powerful as many treatments for mental and emotional health. When one's mind is calm, their body feels it. Since he started incorporating this habit into his life, he has noticed that it's easier for him to maintain control not only over his mental well-being, but also over his physical health. Previously, any small pain or discomfort in his body would throw him off balance and increase his anxiety. Now, he is able to remain serene, face these challenges with greater perspective, and make decisions that contribute to his well-being, both emotional and physical. Meditation taught him an important lesson. Peace of mind is also a form of natural medicine. When one faces life's difficulties, especially with age, finding moments to calm a mind not only helps them stay emotionally balanced, it also has a direct impact on the health of their body. Constant stress is a silent enemy that depletes defenses, increases inflammation, and, if not managed, even affects joints and muscles. That's why one should never underestimate the power of these 10 minutes of calm. You could try tomorrow. His advice is this: dedicate 10 minutes every morning before starting your day. If you're new to this, don't worry if it seems difficult at first. Like any other skill, it improves with time. And, according to him, these 10 minutes will bring more well-being than you can imagine. It seems incredible, but sometimes the most powerful health secrets are not found in a pill or expensive treatment, but in something as simple as the tranquility one can find within themselves. Secret number 5: relationships and connection with others. Throughout his life, he understood that one of the most important pillars for staying healthy and active is not just what one eats or how much they move, but also the relationships they develop. At first, he thought the key to aging well was taking care of his body, exercising, eating healthy, and getting good sleep. But over time, he realized that the real secret lies in how one connects with others. The importance of social connections for long-term health has been repeatedly proven in studies. It's not just about having friends or family nearby. It's about how these connections keep one emotionally balanced, motivated, and, most importantly, active. He recalls how, at 65, he was in a transitional phase of his life that many might recognize. His children no longer lived at home, his routine became lonelier, and his activities more limited. It was at that moment that he fortunately realized the importance of having a community. He began to participate more actively in social activities, join a neighborhood book club, and engage more in group sports, and it was a true revelation. One of the most significant stories he wishes to share is his friendship with Martha, a 72-year-old woman he met while walking in the park. She told him how her life had changed by attending weekly church gatherings and participating in community events. Martha initially believed that age would force her into isolation, but gradually she realized that connecting with others revitalized her in ways she never imagined. She began to feel less pain, had more energy, and, most importantly, became much happier. This kind of emotional support, constant interaction with friends and loved ones, has not only a positive psychological, but also a physical impact. Research shows that people with a strong network of friends and family have stronger immune systems. They also have a lower risk of chronic diseases and, most importantly, live longer. It is no coincidence that many people who live to be 100 years old lead active social lives. In his case, family was his greatest support. Nothing motivates him more than the smiles of his grandchildren or the enthusiasm of his children when he tells them about his daily activities. Deep conversations with his wife or simply having lunch with friends had a direct impact on his daily well-being. Emotional connection keeps one's mind and body healthy, and this is not to be underestimated. Recently, a close friend asked him if he believed that a more active social life had changed his perspective on aging. And his answer was clear: yes, absolutely. Relationships, connection, and support from others not only lift the spirit, but also act as a protective shield against illness. Instead of withdrawing, one should draw closer to those around them, as life is much more enjoyable when shared with others. If someone feels lonely or disconnected from the world, there's no need to worry. It's never too late to start. At every stage of life, communities, activities, and friendships can be found. You just need to take the first step. The benefits of his secrets. How his body continues to function at 93. Today, at 93, he feels more flexible and energetic than many of his friends who are significantly younger than him. Every morning, he wakes up without pain, without resorting to painkillers or temporary solutions. He doesn't complain about his joints and doesn't feel the constant fatigue that accompanied him years ago. He can walk at a good pace, go up and down stairs, and even shop without asking for help. What used to be a problem has now become part of his daily routine, and the difference is immense. Compared to other people his age, he sees what happens when the conventional path is chosen. Most of his friends have succumbed to traditional medicine, taking medications for pain, arthritis, and cholesterol. Some have even had hip or knee replacement surgeries. The progression is evident. Mobility decreases, drug side effects worsen, and unfortunately, many have lost that spark for life that once characterized them. How does he continue to function so well while other people his age look much more worn out? His answer lies in the habits he acquired over the years. Throughout his life, he understood that health depends not only on doctor visits or traditional treatments. The real secret is what one does daily, what they eat, how they care for themselves, how they stay active, and above all, how they keep their mind sharp. First, he never stopped walking. Every day, he walks around his neighborhood, regardless of the weather. This ensures not only continued mobility, but also a feeling of abundant energy. His mind also needs exercise, which is why he never stopped learning. Whether reading a book, solving puzzles, or engaging in stimulating conversations, he always made sure his brain remained as active as his body. Another crucial habit is his diet. He never followed a strict diet, but always made an effort to include foods rich in antioxidants, healthy fats, and essential nutrients. Turmeric, ginger, and other herbs were an integral part of his daily intake, along with plenty of fresh fruits and vegetables. Mental clarity is another aspect that surprises him. Despite his age, he possesses a clear mind. He can recall conversations from years ago and has had no episodes of confusion, even when discussing complex topics. This is no coincidence. Keeping the mind active, as he mentioned, is one of the keys to avoiding cognitive decline. Regarding mobility, he never allowed pain to define him. While some days were tougher than others, he always made an effort to walk, do light stretches, and stay in motion. His body isn't perfect, but by consistently staying active, he prevented pain from taking over. The conclusion from all this is simple. What one does today for their body and mind will undoubtedly reflect in their future. One shouldn't wait until they are 80 or 90 to start taking care of their health. It's essential to take care of yourself now, and the benefits will manifest in the long run. Traditional medicine certainly has its place, yet there are things everyone can do independently to stay healthy and energetic. Although he isn't an expert, he is living proof that a combination of natural habits, consistent exercise, a balanced diet, and mind care can take a person much further than they might imagine. The key is to take responsibility for one's own health, rather than expecting quick fixes. Today, he is in a completely different state than he was a few years ago. He's in a state where pain is no longer a central part of his life, and where pills and endless treatments no longer dictate his daily routine. Sometimes he looks back and is amazed by what he has achieved. If he had been told 5 or 10 years ago that he would live without relying on medication, without constant doctor visits, without appointments that only served to prescribe more and more symptom relievers but never treated the root cause, he would probably have laughed. How is that possible? He would have thought. Is it truly possible to live without all of that? But the answer, as he learned, is yes, it is possible. And it wasn't a coincidence. It wasn't something that just happened by chance. It was a conscious decision, a choice he made day after day. He decided to seek alternatives, to listen to his body, and give it what it truly needed. At first, it was difficult. Breaking the routine of years of reliance on medication, even if just for pain relief, was challenging. But when he started seeing results, when he began to feel freer, with more energy, and without the side effects of pills, he realized he was on the right path. Every day, he made small choices, caring for his diet, moving more, resting better, and trusting natural solutions like beneficial herbs and spices. These small changes, compounded together, created a true transformation. His body began to heal in ways he never imagined. And not just his body, his mind also began to heal. He learned to see old age not as an inevitable decline, but as a stage where he could still take the reins of his life. Why settle for less when you can strive for more? Why accept that pain is a part of aging when he knows he can live without it? What he wants to convey is that it's never too late to start taking care of yourself. Life doesn't end when one turns 70, 80, or 90. In fact, it can be fuller than ever. It depends on the decisions one makes now. It's not easy. Like any change, it requires effort and patience. But what he learned is that with these simple changes, life can be more fulfilling, even at 93. And while the path isn't always easy, he assures it's a journey worth taking. So, he leaves the reader with a question. What will you do from this moment on to improve your health? Perhaps you don't need to make such drastic changes. But if something he shared today resonated with you, perhaps it's time to start making conscious decisions for your well-being. Your health is in your hands. It's never too late to start taking care of yourself.